Hi guys, welcome to my channel. Today I just made a series of videos showing how they deliberately lie to you, and they have professional disinfo agents. So welcome to Ego Out at a Distance 70, and please like and subscribe. This is going to blow your mind a little bit about what they do. This is organized tyranny, this is organized crime by Freemasonry and the secret societies worldwide that do this. All the huge channels, certain very big ones, are all run by this operation. People like myself, you're not going to get on there. They will steal our research and they will talk about it like Terence Howard. Oh, he's right about transmutation of elements because they stole this knowledge. They know this knowledge, and they know the research that's been happening, and so the Freemasons are the only one that will get true airplay. So they will steal the research and pretend that they're the key to the success and all this stuff, and this is what they've been doing forever. They're behind the killing of Tesla. Trump's family was involved in that. Okay, his uncle was involved. He was there to take the research after the death. They probably killed him. It wasn't natural. They do this en masse. They're the same people behind the suppression. They fight against each other because it's all about money. They've all got royal bloodlines like me. I'd be related to most of these people in power, all right? Anunnaki people, that's what they are, and I'm not joking. So please enjoy this and share. We need to get this out to the people of the world because we have free power systems coming that you can make now as a transition, and there's other technologies coming. We can make gold, right? I need anyone that wants to help me. I'm in Australia and I need someone that's well funded, that has scientific knowledge, that's willing to put their own reputation on the line, because if we do not develop what I know and get this out to the masses, it's going to be stolen from us again, and you're going to lose everything anyway because of the corruption that's happening. The whole system's corrupt. The whole system has been absolutely infiltrated by satanic people. Elon Musk is one of them, and there's no doubt about that. If you research his family, you go to a donut, Illuminati News Donut, he calls himself. He's got awesome information, okay? Everything he talks about is what I've been through in my life. He's been targeted too, I can tell, that's why he's talking about it, okay? And the symbology and the Freemasonry pre-prediction, it's priming, right? They're pre-priming people. Symbology, repeated this, repeated that. The Simpsons, the Fox sisters were witches, all right? It's all connected, people. It's crazy. I know I sound crazy, but I don't care. I need to tell you the truth. So enjoy this and prepare to have your mind blown. And I'm only getting started doing more videos like this to explain the technology, because I went on Vetted last night to watch that show. I sent them information. I went to the Discord, and then I got blocked for sharing our research that's not classified. Seems like that was very deliberate, very disparaging. When I said, do you want information? Like, oh, the information, he doesn't want the information about how everything really works. Watch it yourself. It was on last night, okay? I'm not fucking joking. This bullshit. These people that do that, they're all psyop, professional misinfo bastards, all right? Now, I don't know if he is for sure, but it's just rinse and repeat for the same actions that I've seen. Why do they block me? You know, like, it's fuck crazy. But anyway, it is what it is. We need to come together, people. Watch this. Do a screen recording. And this is all part of me exposing the bullshit and exposing the anti-science and the deliberate pre-misinformation specialists like the man you're about to meet, Mr. Robert Murray Expert Smith, that is a Freemason, I would gather. And this is why he's sort of doing all this crap. Let me clear my phone. Damn it. So Doesn't work out. Right, so let's have a look at what Mr. Robert Murray Smith has got to say about Mr. John Hutchinson, my friend, a beautiful human being, a brilliant mind, somebody that has had his whole career destroyed, forced to shut his lab down because of what he discovered, anti-gravity. That's very real. And I'm about to show you how real it is, because I don't know about you, but I'm pretty damn sure you cannot tie a string to water and then pull it out of a cup. So let's have a look at this, people. This is very, very interesting.
Hi, so I was asked to look into the Hutchinson effect. Now, the Hutchinson effect is a group of mysterious effects that include things like metal exploding, melting different materials one onto the other, anti-gravity and levitation. And there's a whole load of Hutchinson videos out there, especially some that he took himself of his experiments that I've been able to have a look at.
Oh, implying that it's only him that does it. That's not the Hutchinson effect at all, by the way. This is a complete...
When having a look at these things, of course,
misleading
what it was all about was extremely high voltages in resonance.
No, it's not high voltage.
Of course, we have a high voltage.
Right, let's get this straight. It is not high voltage. That experiment that he just showed you then may have been high voltage, but it's a different experiment. It is not the Hutchinson effect. The Hutchinson effect is low energy requirement and sound, okay? And a special bulb that is used, a vacuum bulb with a certain geometric wound copper wire system, a toroidal wire system strategically placed to create this incredible effect. So he's a full of shit liar, this guy.
Supply. What we did was we made this for fractal burning, and it outputs a few thousand volts, and we can step that up to be a great number of volts. But equally, of course, what do we do with it? How do we get that to resonate? And then I remembered a friend of mine had sent me a couple of Tesla bifilar coils. So I've set those two coils opposite each other so that we can step that voltage up again, and we can resonate it between the two coils, so we get a longitudinal resonant field right here created by extremely high voltage. Now, in theory...
Okay, now if this is what he would be doing, he'd be giving himself cancer, because if it was the Hutchinson effect, that is, because John made himself sick, because this is before they knew what strange radiation is, all right? And he had to stop his experiments in his lab. That was his house, because his neighbours' dishes and knife and forks and items would be floating around the room.
That should be able to set up an anti-gravity field, or at least that's what they're saying. But I've got here a child's toy. It's just a ball. It's a plastic ball. And I'm going to put it in the middle of the field and then turn that field on and see what happens to the ball. Of course, I'm going to remove any metal. We have the circuit here. And at the end of this demonstration, I'm going to show you exactly how I did it. But anyway, let's have a look at that. I'll give you a close-up of the experiment. Oh, that's amazing. Truly amazing. Let's try that again.
He's going out of his way to deliberately disparage John Hutchinson's research, to hide it, because it's directly connected to the UFO technology and the Egyptian pyramids. And free power systems that are available now.
So in case you're in any doubt
that
about
can be
how
built
that was
now.
done, let me reveal the secret. There it is. And if you think that's cheating, let me show you another one of John Hutchinson's films that he took of his own experiment and paid particular attention to the top left-hand corner.
Now that wire is actually for power. It's got nothing to do with pulling it. This is not the Hutchinson effect. It's a completely different video. John's...
Now, in case you think I didn't do a replication...
John's explained all of that very specifically. And I do notice how the sound was left out, right? The sound was left out very specifically because John's explaining the experiment. And I've got the original video of that. I'm not sure if it's that part or whether it's just the other one that was flipping around. But I've got samples of John's experiments, his metals, where wood is transmutated from metals, and we've seen gold, silver. We don't need to mine, people. We can do this by sound frequency and water to get fine metals, unlimited supply of metals using the pyramid and other types of technologies. It's simply breathtaking.
Of John Hutchinson's experiment. Actually, I did exactly what he did. I talked about high voltage. I talked a little bit about resonance. I chucked in a reference to Tesla and some of his marvellous inventions, and then I tied a bit of string to this and stepped out of the way and gave it a tug. That is exactly how that video was done. And you can even see the string waggling around in that top left-hand corner. I did a couple of other things. I mean, like John, I put a pulley in the roof there so that I could pull it as I was pretending to step out of the way so you could see it. I also did some setup before. I put this here because it's a black background, and I left it there as I walked out so that you were sort of aware of it and weren't thinking, oh, he's deliberately put a black background there. So I put a black background there, talked and stepped out of the way to give you a chance to see it, and of course that hid the string. And the string, I even left it there as a clue to how it was that I was doing this, so that string was sitting right on the bench all of the time, because it's often about misdirection.
I'm about to blow his world apart. Fucking fraud. How dare you? How dare you make fake evidence representing an experiment that is completely different to the Hutchinson effect. The Hutchinson effect will destroy metals. It will transmutate metals. It will pull them apart by themselves. They will sit and spin themselves into knots like you see in the crop circles, how the crops will tie themselves into knots. And I have shown the fork that I bought and the spanner that I bought off John Hutchinson that hold residual monopole effects that can be charged to lower their weights. This guy's a fraud. He's also done this to other people. He did it to the thunderstorm generator, which works. He didn't build the machine because it would have proved him wrong. He just got the parts, and because people don't know science, they, it doesn't look like it works, so therefore it can't, right? Well, I'm about to show you. I'm about to show you very specifically just what a fraud he is. Okay, so that's the Hutchinson effect hit job. Smith. The thunderstorm generator.
Somewhere, because a lot of people have written to me. But before we get into Malcolm's invention, what I want to do is remind you. Hi everybody. So, I have a bit of a policy. If more than 12 people write to me independently on a subject asking for a video, well, I'll make the video. And this video is about the thunderstorm generator by Malcolm Bendell. I guess it had some publicity somewhere because a lot of people have written to me. But before we get into Malcolm's invention, what I want to do is remind you of this. It's the Geek processor by Paul Pantone.
Okay, it is similar technology, but it is not the same technology. Okay, that's a fact, and this thunderstorm generator led directly to uncovering the secret of the pyramid and UFO technology itself.
He developed in 1987 and in 1998 got a patent on. If we look at it, we can see some remarkable similarities, but let's have a listen to what Paul says about it.
Utah inventor.
Okay, sorry, I'll just get past this.
Electrofield.
So look at it. The first bit is Paul itself.
You can research it yourself.
Through a tube, this process.
Spending some time in prison on 2 counts of security fraud that he pled guilty to.
That was all the
then
setup.
They moved him to a mental home and he was eventually released. But putting that aside, what I really want you to notice is what he described his machine as, that is a plasma-based generator, and what the structure of it was, that is one tube inside another. Now let's have a look at Malcolm's machine. So here's the machine itself. It's composed of 3 parts.
Okay, for a start, this is not the machine, okay? This is the part that you make, that you adapt and put onto a generator or a car or anything that you want to. It's anything, right? And they should be running all the time on all generators to remove excess carbon dioxide out of the atmosphere. It gives you an aircon, it gives you a heater as a byproduct, and it will run on plasma once it's at full operational temperature, saving your fuel. You could technically put this on a boat and travel around the world non-stop as long as the engine was running. Okay, so he's a liar, and this also converts matter. It transmutes matter inside the spheres, and the imagery of the plasmoids, because when they go out of coherence, they turn into sulfur, carbon, iron, all sorts of elements at the very ratio of our bodies. Every element in our body ends up inside the ball lightning structure, out of coherence. Sunlight is frozen matter when it comes to Earth. The machine of the sun, the machinery of it, is not how it says. It's a complete lie. They've taken the ether out of the equation in science so people don't understand our reality. They've done it all deliberately. And this is just a classic example of what they do to do what they do. Okay? This is the part that attaches to the motor. It is not a machine. There are no moving parts. So he's totally misrepresenting everything already.
Ionisation chamber that the air enters through by the pull of the vacuum of the engine. There's a bubbler, although they don't call it that. They call it, I think it's the plasmoid generator. And then there's the generator section itself, which is the red bone-like thing here. Let's have a better look at it. The first bit is what they call their ionisation chamber. It really is just a chamber in which you put a UV light bulb. They recommend a 25 watt by 300 nanometers UV light bulb that is mostly used to keep lizards warm. You stick that in the chamber and the air is sucked through by the vacuum.
He would know that because he's probably a lizard person.
Of the engine, and it's supposed to ionise it as it passes through.
It does.
So the bubbler, or the plasmoid generator, it's basically just a tube filled with about 1.5 litres of water.
No, it's
at
not.
the bottom there's a stone. You actually buy it.
Okay, he's already got it wrong. That's true. It's got water in it, but the steel wool's been taken out of it. It's... God, he's a fucking liar.
It's for fish tanks, aquariums, I think, and they are bubblers. So they bubble the pre-ionised gas through them. I think it's on the piston upstroke, and on the downstroke, then these bubbles are supposed to collapse, and that's where the plasmoids are formed.
It's because of the vacuum. Think star in a jar. Okay, UFOs operate in a vacuum. The electromagnetic nuclear collapse is what's happening to the plasmoids, to the bubbles, which are absolutely incredible.
And then, of course, the engine's repeating, and the vacuum is drawing all of this stuff into the actual thunderstorm generator section.
Side note, he could have built this machine and run it to see if it worked, but no, of course, that would be too obvious that he's wrong, right? So he refuses to do that. He doesn't show you the machine running. He doesn't show that's been tested. It's running in England now on gas, fucking providing cheap power, like, you know, at top prices for the public, all been deliberately hidden.
In itself. If we look at the drawing, what we'll see are 2 tubes, one nested inside the other in exactly the same way that Pantone did. But instead of having elbow joints like Paul, what we've got here are these spheres, which are referred to as flow guides. The basic machine is as I say, one pipe slid inside another pipe. The big deal seems to be about the spheres and the sphere arrangement. These spheres nest inside each other, and there are three of them. The inner yellow sphere actually isn't apparently strictly necessary, just acts as an inner flow guide, and that has a little bit of a prong welded onto it so it can sit in the center of the blue sphere. The blue sphere allows the pipe to go in and out, and the yellow is supposed to act as a flow guide, and then the red sphere encloses that, so the whole thing makes a joint. To put that together, when we have the yellow spheres first, these are apparently our 2-inch spheres. We put a support on those spheres and weld those inside the blue spheres, which are apparently 3-inch spheres. At the end of those spheres, we put on a spigot so we can actually join it to something. And then between those, another pipe. The red spheres go on and the red pipe goes on. The red pipe slid on before you put the blue pipe on, clearly, otherwise you won't get it to fit. And that replicates the drawing. Then all we actually do is put the unions on so that they will go to the exhaust, and that's the device finished. So with the exception of the spherical joints and the addition of this UV ionization chamber, I would say that this is pretty much a replication of Paul Pantone. I mean, they have changed.
No, it's not. And because he's deliberately lying about everything, it's all about disparaging everything, making it look like a copy or whatever. But the question is, why don't you show them the machine running? Why don't you look at the test results, Robert Murray, Freemason Smith? You're a hit job specialist, Mr. Disinfo channel. Piece of shit.
The name, instead of calling it a plasma generator, it's called a plasmoid generator. I suppose OID make all the difference. But when I look at it, I'm pretty much convinced that this is the geek processor that has been dressed up a little bit. So the big question, could this actually work? Well, let's have a look at it in parts. Let's take this UV ionization chamber to start with. Now, the recommended thing to put in there is a 25-watt lamp. And the UV range is 300 nanometers. And the problem with it being an air ionizer is UV is renowned as being a non-ionizing radiation. It won't ionize anything. So the air in there isn't going to get ionized. It's 25 watts. It's also...
What a lie that is. Oxygen is naturally... Oh boy, I won't even go into it. It's just a lie, okay? It's just a lie.
Piddling amount of power, so the only thing that would happen with the ionization chamber is if you put a lizard in there, it would get slightly warm. A plasmoid is a plasma held together in a coherent shape by an external magnetic or electrostatic force. A plasma is just a group of charged particles.
That machine will never work, and they know it, and they're wasting all your money. If it ever did ignite into a plasmoid, it would destroy the machine, because plasmoids are the strongest force in the universe. It would absolutely destroy it, and static electricity is the only key requirement for the input, as well as sound, vacuum. All right, this is just, it's the pyramid turns into a big ball lightning structure when it's operating. It's related to the pyramid. And they were telling this in the stellaes. This research is unbelievable what we've discovered. It's fulfilled a prophecy. That's one of these stellas talking about space travel, element making, healing technology. All of this is God's technology given to the people of Earth, and I mean this literally. We have finally connected science and God. This is God with the small g. Literally God's technology that's in harmony with our Earth, that doesn't hurt our Earth. And we can make elements at mass levels. And this is what they did in teleportation, all the things in sci-fi, Star Trek that you see. John Hutchinson had cameo parts in that. They used a lot of his terminology, the discoveries he made. It was proven. You know, I've got documents to prove that he sent me. And I need people in the US that have money, that want to collaborate, and that know their science, engineers, people that have got good integrity and background, but you need to be willing to risk all of that, because they'll come down on you like a ton of bricks. But there's enough evidence now. Bob's written papers and put them in. It's all about how you say things. We are changing everything. Bob's a beautiful mind, and he's pulled all this together.
So a lot of electrons will form a plasma, and an example of that is lightning. A lot of ions will form a plasma, and an example of that. Well, what's the driving force? Well, the driving force is the vacuum from the engine. The thunderstorm device itself has been compared to a rank Hills tube, and rank Hills tubes do...
This is what happens on that tube with the thunderstorm generator. One end will be cold, the other end will be hot, and there'll be a force field between these hot and cold areas where they meet. And I'm not joking. This is a byproduct of the reaction.
Work. They're astounding devices as far back as the 1920s to have emissions.
Okay, enough. I've had enough of him. Now let's have a look at the thunderstorm generator. All right, let's see. Let's see if it works, okay? I've got a couple of examples. What should we do? Well, let's show you the one in Prague that they're running. It's tested in front of a whole bunch of scientists. A lot of it's in German, and the suppression and the interference is total and complete, and they deliberately made sure we couldn't get the machine there, and so Malcolm had to go and build a new one from scratch on that day. That's what they've been doing, which is inhibit us. Test the technology can be done anytime. They're deliberately withholding this technology from the world, very, very deliberately. Come on, where is it? Where is it? Sorry, that's right, I'm recording this. Okay. Oh, well, before I'll find it on my phone, just watch this. This is the Hutchinson effect. This is what happens to metals. The energy that's extracted between the matter bonds is enough to get you to Alpha Centauri and back. This is cold fusion. This is the Hutchinson effect. And I don't believe you could suck it out with a string or any other method, or wring it out. Or this is a 6-inch block of iron that you see here.
Just pull it out of the test area over there and put some paper on in the hallway here. This used to be the oh my mercy, 7 long, just under 2-inch by 2-inch solid block of iron. This is a small sample that just sort of did some strange stuff, but not as impressive as this thing. I'll try and turn around and get the best light on it here. It's a bit heavy.
Okay, so the Hutchinson effect is fake, apparently. And, well, we all know it's not. I know it's not. And I know that for sure. There it is, and here's the thunderstorm generator running.
So the UV will be going on automatically. That's connected to the generator, so it's generating its own energy to run itself.
This is in Prague. It's inside a auditorium. They're going to run it. That was made in a couple of hours. And this is open source. You can make this today yourself. But we have other technology from another friend of mine, completely independent, quantum crystal engine technology that is scalable. That is also UFO technology. They're both the same thing. Plasma-based products are the secret to the universe and the power source of UFOs, allowing them to access the fifth dimension via the scalar wave once it's been turned into a technology, getting places very quickly, low energy requirements. Byproduct is dropping metal. That's why they drop metal. You can make any metals. You can put implants of these metals inside you, and then you can come together as a ball lightning structure between you and your friends when you go and visit another place and turn people to stone, or whatever setting you put it to, quite literally, like Medusa. You can levitate things. This is how they built the pyramids, levitating these blocks. They jellified the structures to carve them, mold them. It wasn't hard work. They could have done it very quickly, scooped it out with a little ball lightning structure. That literally, and the byproduct would have been metal, and then they would have collected that, and they would have used that for something else. So, it's quite extraordinary. Okay, I'll get it up to when it started, okay?
Also Nord und Süd, Tornados colliding in the middle. Negativ zwei Wirbel, die in der Mitte aufeinandertreffen. So you have a 0 point equivalent to the human cavity on the Earth.
They've got calibrated equipment there. This is all on my YouTube channel.
Where no matter can occur because there's no frequency at that 0 point.
And links to get the information to build one.
That is the important thing.
Strike force.
That is the important thing.
Yeah, that's it.
When it's running.
Opposite, equal or opposite spin, go to 0 point. No matter. No matter. And so this okay, so we already got.
Do you want to explain the baseline?
Okay, we have a baseline here in this room is basically 0 carbon dioxide, 0 carbon monoxide, 20.87% oxygen.
Das ist die Analyse der Gase. Okay. Wir werden auch eine Last an diesen Kreislauf hängen. Das ist dieser Heizlüfter.
Now you need to do it on a brand new machine. You can't use an old one.
Way!
Okay, now they did that just to get the results for the calibrated machine that you cannot tamper with, to show what it usually runs and the exhaust fumes and what are they and percentages, etc.
Just let you go again there. What we're doing is balancing the vacuum. It swaps from you're operating on.
Listen for the change when it's been turned on. The machine runs much better, much more powerful, and saves your fuel once it's at temperature. It no longer uses your fuel and operates from plasma alone. Notice how no one's struggling to breathe, and watch these numbers drop. now it's been kicked in now. You hear it running a bit higher. No one's struggling to breathe because there's hardly any pollution now. The exhaust, one part of it's hot, the other part's very cold. Free aircon, free heater. Okay, you can watch the rest on my channel. Point proven. It does work, okay? And that is a certainty. Steps to the discovery of electronuclear collapse. That's what and how it works. This video here, O-Day. Watch that if you can. This is the most important discovery known to mankind, and the elites in power, our governments know about all this, and they've been suppressing our research the whole time. I'm not a scientist. I'm an artist, a satanic ritual abuse survivor, and I am being called a savant. I left school at 12 because of the abuse and because of their destruction of my life. This video is very important. Bob explains things in ways that anyone can understand. It's all about whirlwinds. Vortex mathematics, vortex physics is now in play. This is a certainty. My other friend, and these synchronicities are incredible. Bob has certain secret society issues surrounding his life. So do I, and so do others. And we've been programmed by the symbology that we grew up with around us. Okay? And I mean that quite literally. He's an artist like I am. He's got very similar gifts and talent. So he was allowed to get an education. But because my family is the #1 satanic family in the world, and because of my good spirit, I'm the natural druid, the natural psychic in the family, and they figured that out when I was young and realized I was going to be trouble, and I was targeted as the scapegoat, and they've destroyed everything and hid everything, and it's completely insane what's happened to me. But this is what they've done, stealing my children, murdering them. It's really, really despicable. What else do I want to show you guys? Yes, we discovered links from the Jewish people to the Egyptian pyramids. It's got the rotor square technology in it. I'll show you some plasma analysis.
December 29th, 2023. What are these little structures?
These are out of
They
coherent,
literally look like Oreos, look.
out of coherent ball lightning structures that create matter. They come in pairs. Sacred geometry is the key. It represents divine feminine, divine masculine. This is how God makes things.
Are they two toroids stuck together?
All matter is made this way. There is no such thing as the Big
Curious. Structure.
Bang. Again, you can have a look at this yourself on my channel. I'm just skipping through
Over in it.
all the analysis.
We'll
This is
take
proper
one
experimental
here.
physics, okay? Bob is very well credentialed.
Antimony? I don't think so.
He's just going through the
I don't think so.
what metals are, what elements are in there. It's a blueprint for life, okay? We see images of body parts, faces. It's simply breathtaking, this research. And I found it looking for answers to my psychic abilities, which everyone has. But if you're a naturally gifted artist like me, you're going to have a very high ability. And that's carbon exploded.
So what is, for instance,
This research
the other
is
stuff
the
is
only
the
thing
phosphorus
the world
content,
should be focusing
carbon.
on. But it's being suppressed, ignored, deliberately, completely, and utterly and totally, including my channel. The Hutchinson effect there. I'll go to my shorts here and let's have a look at some of the levitation that doesn't exist. Okay? Now, where should we go first? Let's speak to John Alexander. This is John Alexander, who supports John's work.
But Colonel Alexander had given John some metal rods he used in his psychokinetic work to test the validity of people's metal bending claims. These rods could only be bent through extreme measures, like heating them to thousands of degrees.
I've got one of these rods.
Probably the most interesting was a molybdenum rod that I used in PK testing. And what had happened is he presented to me, it had a slight S-curve in the rod itself. We looked at it very carefully to see if it had been heated and gripped or something like that, and found no indication that it had. That suggested to us that there were effects that were going on.
In the end, Bob, a skeptical Los Alamos investigator, deemed the tests inconclusive. And according to this letter from Los Alamos, all documents pertaining to the Hutchinson tests were destroyed. But Colonel Alexander had given...
His research was destroyed.
Of an effect which can turn metal into jelly and levitate objects, it wasn't long before news leaked out. In this case, to Colonel John Alexander with INSCOM, U.S. Army Intelligence, whose specialties included training people to bend metal with their minds, or PK, psychokinetic training.
Well, they had an 8mm film, and it was purported to have been taken in Canada, and it showed various items that were levitating, falling, accelerating. The breadth of materials that seemed to be affected by whatever the effect was certainly interesting, because it wasn't just metal. It clearly wasn't just some big magnet or something like that. And it was sufficiently interesting that we said, want to learn more about that. So we agreed to fund it.
Why was the Army so interested in John's effect? Well, look at all those objects of an effect which can turn metal into jelly and levitate.
Let's have a look what he's got.
Writer for the respected British military journal Jane's Defense Weekly found out about John Hutchinson's work through one of Lockheed Martin's top scientists.
So I was at Lockheed Martin. I was with Boyd Bushman, the senior engineer there, and he showed me a film that purported to show some of John Hutchinson's levitation experiments. What we saw was a saw, some nails, a hammer, household stuff. Most of them were shooting off the top of the screen. It was almost like an impulse reaction. Normally I would have kind of looked at this stuff and just thought it's somebody's idea of a practical joke. But the fact that it was being highlighted to me by somebody from Lockheed Martin as something I should be paying attention to kind of got my attention. And that was what really convinced me to go and at least have a look at what John Hutchinson was doing. I'm 99% convinced that this is not a hoax.
Writer for the respected British...
Of course, I've got all this incredible information on my channel, but because I'm insane, because I spoke about Satanism, which is behind the suppression of this technology, your channel gets shadow banned, okay? That's what happens.
Thing on the Hutchinson effect. This This was some effect. Air squeezed out of bottles, ice drinks moving through space, drill bits levitating. An effect so convincing and so varied, it seemed impossible to fake.
In John's labs, I've actually seen levitation of rock. I've seen levitation of steel ball bearings, glass, where they will levitate. Unbelievable. I've seen electricity go right into the objects and a million pieces just fly apart.
In fact, using only 75 watts of energy, enough for a small light bulb, Hutchison made a 60-pound cannonball rise off the table. It would also fuse dissimilar materials, heat metal but not burn the wood it sat on, shatter metal as well as change its crystalline structure. This was something to write home about.
Beginning of 1980, experimenting with all and the Hutchison effect.
Okay, and you saw what happened to the metals there and what they look like. These technologies are now weaponized plasma-based products. I do believe that that's what destroyed Chernobyl. I do believe that that's also what destroyed the Twin Towers, and I know that for sure. And I do believe that's the same thing that hit the Pentagon, the sizes and everything. Hologram technology is all related to this. Scalar wave technology that can do incredible things that you don't understand. And also the bridge that fell down recently, that was the Chinese attack on our Western world. That was the Hutchinson effect, making the structure gellify and fall to the ground. And I'm not joking at all. And that's why when the 9/11 happened, that's why they got all the metal and shipped it off to China. And yeah, trying to make it look like Israel did it. But it's evil people in every country doing this, right? All governments have been infiltrated by satanic Freemasonry, orchestrated with the Illuminati, orchestrated with the United Nations using mind control technology. Trump, Biden, worldwide this is, Putin, they're all in it, all the leaders. It's taken a long time. It's been planned since they killed Christ, because Christ discovered this technology and reintroduced it, and they killed him for it. Because in this research we discovered that it makes a cross near the matter, and I'll show you that too. This is just one of the documents. I know you can't read it, but I'll get the original. I'll show you something too. That is a technology. The same thing that twists the metal around is the same thing that twists the crops around. They are telling us how to make a receiving device, and I know exactly what it is because it fell from the sky in Africa. And this is the cross that's made. Yeah. See the cross in the center there? Alright, that's a scalar wave, making straight lines. Okay? There's the Twin Towers, that's a plasma weapon. You see flashes. And there's a spot on the other side. See the flash up on the right hand side? Like, this is a satanic attack. Because these people are satanic behind it, okay? Water has memory. The UFO crash on Mars is directly related to this phenomena. We prove this. That there is a ball lightning structure giving birth to matter, the female side, the divine feminine side, the moment of birth. Sacred geometry, that's cavitation. The US Naval Cavitation Department found all this after stealing Tesla's work and going through it. And they would have killed him. That's John Hutchinson's dog. Evo, he's beautiful. John Hutchinson. Nuclear bombs, that's the secret to making gold by this method. So if there's any engineers around in Perth or anywhere in the world for that matter that want to contact me, we can make gold together. I know the full recipe, I know how to do it. I just don't have the equipment or the money because of what they've done. They stole my inheritance and destroyed everything. I should be a multi-millionaire right now, but I've got nothing. I can't even get a job because if they get a job, they deliberately fuck with my work and get me sacked and destroy everything. This is what Freemason does. It's mind control here. Hal Puthoff is a naval intelligence. Okay, look at the sacred geometry within the pyramid. It's just spectacular. It's perfect. There's no doubt about it at all. These are just some of my remote viewing. I've never learned how to do it. I just can do it because I'm psychic. These are all the people involved in what's happening to me, including this guy. He's a pedophile. He's from the government. He got busted. Finally, someone pays the consequence. This guy here, he's my second cousin. He's Brad's son. He's the he just finished as the boss in Perth as the Anti-Corruption Crime Commission, and he's all part of what's happening to me and the fake charges and everything. This is my extended family, and they've got something to do with the theft of my son. It's my auntie Annette. All these people are related to King Solomon and Genghis Khan, just like I am. Oh yeah, Crowley, Eminem. They look identical. My mum's celebrating Samuel Liddell Macaulay Mathers address. That's my mum's home address, is 8 Liddell. That's what I mean by the sacred geometry, those rings. That's etheric matter. That's the scalar waves coming in, those straight lines here and there. That's what's left of Phobos after the war on Mars. Here's John's document. Okay, where's it from? Robert Canutes, Washington. Okay, to whom it may concern, I am writing this letter to certify that John Hutchinson, now living in British Columbia, Canada, has conducted sophisticated experiments that I believe to demonstrate the existence of a new and very unusual physical phenomena. These include what I believe to be electrostatic and non-magnetic levitation of solid massive objects, and also transmutation of certain solid metals. He wasn't sure. But additionally, Mr. Hutchinson apparently discovered the existence of other exotic effects that most scientists of this era would possibly say could lie only within the realm of science fiction. With respect, Mr. Hutchinson discoveries which possibly parallel some aspects of research which have been underway in secret weapons laboratories for the former Soviet Union, i.e. cold fusion, and the States, I believe that they represent discoveries of immense significance to humanity, which they do. It's the biggest discovery known to man, and they already know it, and they've been hiding this for thousands of years. Eventually, these kinds of discoveries could lead to such things as anti-gravitic space travel, and could possibly lead to some kinds of teleportation. Well, it does. And even previously, I would have said that the latter be impossible. The latter is impossible. Even now, it's only in the face of empirical evidence that I have changed my opinion. I know of no open physics laboratory in the world which has conducted even a single experiment of the kind that Mr. Hutchinson has performed. Wow, huh? Wow. I therefore believe it is imperative that Mr. Hutchinson continue his research, and I offer encouragement to any and all persons who may feel motivated to assist him, either financially or in other ways. This man has a sublime gift of imagination. Okay, that's just one of the documents John's sent me. There's more. Thank you very much for your letter. As far as I wrote already some time ago, I'd be very happy to support your research. Main interest in better theoretical understanding of new physics is slowly emerging in front of us, and not so much commercial applications, probably still quite far away. May I ask you to discuss the details of how we should handle your research with George Hathaway in managed research objects and supported projects that I have supported up till now? I will inform him about our correspondence, and he will probably get in touch. Yeah, well, they didn't really help him, right? They fucking destroyed him. They destroyed his research. Thank you very much for the kind letter. I'm doing well. I hope your family are fine too. For your so important anti-radiation work and other free energy life extension sciences. I wish you a lot of success. I'm pleased to send you the attachment file, an English copy of my book, The State in the Third Millennium, which has already been published in 12 languages. Hans Adam, of Prince of Liechtenstein. John's given me permission to use all these. I want to do a documentary with him, but I'm stuck in Australia. I need to get out of my country somehow. I don't even know if I can because of this corruption. My life is technically in danger. They've been trying to kill me for a number of years, and it's very deep and sounds crazy, and I know it does, but it's true. Okay, this is the UFO motor that is being developed by Malcolm Bendall, but I've got a better UFO motor than this one. It's called the Quantum Crystal Engine. Another mutual friend of mine's developing this, and it is going to be, it's the future, not this. This is good. It has a role, and it's a bypass technology to bypass. Not a bypass. It's basically a transition technology. That's just some of my remote viewing. I'm going to keep this an hour. This is the stellae, what they're talking about, making elements. The bit in the middle here, that's representing having gravity. You're talking about, fertilizers and free energy and all the things that we need in this world today, all the things that they're going to try to change our laws. This is my family, Hukum Chan. This is Chandra. In Mongolian it means Khan. That's my Solomon ancestor here. This is my great-grandfather there. This is the man who stole my son. He's Illuminati, the man who murdered my son, with many, many other people. So yeah, I've got quite a lot of stuff going on in my life, okay? Dear Dr. Hutchinson, reference your letter dated regarding the Advanced Propulsion System. The effort that you propose does not meet the Advanced Research Project Agency's needs at this time. You fucking for real. You are welcome to pursue our worldwide web homepage at identify related specific expertise. Although you're unable to pursue your idea, we appreciate your efforts to bring it to So basically that's just a way of them saying not interested, but we're going to steal your work, and that's what they did. That's the picture I drew when Bob started his research, and it's basically a representation of the sacred geometry and the phenomena itself, and that's still including the auspicious symbol and the hexagram eyes, and then the 8 around the eyes, like that. Like, it's just crazy, right? How did I know all this? I didn't know nothing about fucking plasma, anything. Here's another one that I drew. Same sort of sacred geometry thing. And here, on the left-hand side, the little face, which represents what's made when you make gold. Okay? And no joke. No joke. Here's my ancestry. Hogan Chan, Hannah C.B. Solomon. I've got very significant ancestry. My ancestry is true, it's real, it's pure on both sides of my family. And I'm not joking, this is why I've been going through such hell with Satanism. Fucking very, very strange world that we live in. And this is the face I'm talking about. That's code. Yeah, see the sacred geometry there? Alright. That's all code. There's the ball lightning structures. Right, these are just simply beautiful. That's the moment it gave birth. And it's frozen in time, yeah. Light is the same as plasmoids. It comes to Earth, scalar waves. Okay. M&Ms. None of their art is real. It's all been ripped off. See, if you zoom in on that, it looks like little M&M. Right, McDonald's. It's, you know, they're so unoriginal, these people. This is proper plasma physics, rewriting history. Oops, don't need that. Vega experiments. Scalar waves have access to the back door of time and space. And I was trying to talk to Vetted last night and went to their Discord and shared some of the information. And what do? They blocked me. None of this is classified. This is our own research. Nothing I told them was classified. It just seems to be they're part of the problem, not the solution. Transmutation of elements, organic elements. You can't pour wood into metal, and you can't pour metal around wood, okay? It's obvious why. So, I will leave it there. And here's the police, pedophile police harassing me. So I'll leave it there, and thank you very much. And please subscribe, like, and share this, and go through my YouTube channel. Look at everything. Every single thing I'm talking about is real, true, as I know it to be, with empirical scientific evidence to prove so. I've been collecting evidence for the Satanism my entire life, especially the last 15 years. People, we need to come together. We have free energy solutions available now, and I need help to get this off the ground. Funds are the only thing stopping me from changing the world. And my friend, us two, can change the world together by finalizing the quantum crystal engine technology. And we need to come together. So people like Robert Edward Grant, any one of those people that are good and non-Freemasonry, and if you are a Freemason and you renounce it, welcome aboard. Thank you.